Your rental is listed right now, and it might be costing you $300 every single month before a single application hits your inbox. Not because your property is bad, not because the market is soft, because you priced it the way almost every independent California landlord prices it. You opened Zillow, scrolled for 10 minutes, picked a number that felt competitive, and hit publish. That one lazy shortcut, and I say that respectfully, because almost everyone does it, is silently draining $3,600 or more from your annual income. And here's the part that should genuinely bother you. The landlord down the street with the same floor plan is probably collecting that money instead of you. In the next 12 minutes, I'm going to show you the exact 4-variable pricing model that serious landlords use to capture every dollar the California market will actually bear, especially during the peak leasing window running May through August, when demand is at its absolute highest and most landlords are still leaving thousands on the table. Here is the single most expensive misunderstanding in independent landlord pricing. Zillow, Apartments.com, and Rentometer all show you asking prices, not signed lease prices. That distinction sounds minor. It is not minor. It is the entire ballgame. When a landlord posts a unit at $2,400 per month and it sits for 3 weeks, they drop to $2,250 and sign a lease. Zillow recorded $2,400. The actual transaction happened at $2,250. Now flip that scenario during peak season. A landlord posts at $2,400, gets flooded with applications in 48 hours, and the unit goes to the strongest applicant at full asking price, sometimes with the first and last month paid upfront. Zillow still recorded $2,400. But the market signal was that this unit could have listed at $2,550 or $2,600 and still leased quickly. When you anchor your price to listing data, you are anchoring to a number that has never been tested by the market. It is a wish, not a comp. Real signed lease comps in California during peak leasing season, May through August, run 6 to 12% higher than the asking prices you see on aggregator sites. On a $2,400 unit, that gap is $144 to $288 per month. Annualized, you are giving away between $1,700 and $3,400 in gross rent before you even screen your first applicant. The source that actually gets you close to signed lease data in California is the California Apartment Association's rental survey data, CoStar if you have access, or, and this is underutilized, calling a local property management company and asking what their recent lease-up units cleared at. Property managers track actual signed rents. They will usually share a ballpark number because they want your future business. That 5-minute phone call is worth more than an hour on Zillow. Now here's where it gets interesting. Most landlords price with one variable. What does a similar unit nearby show as the asking price? The 4-variable model replaces that guesswork with a structured calculation. Each variable adjusts your base price either up or down, and when you stack all 4, you land on a number the market will actually absorb, not one you invented from a scroll session. Variable 1 is days on market velocity for comparable units. If similar units in your zip code are leasing in under 10 days, your submarket is undersupplied relative to demand. You have pricing power. Units sitting 25 days or more signal that the market is closer to equilibrium or slightly oversupplied. You can find this data in Zillow's listing history, which shows date listed and date marked as no longer available. Pull 5 to 8 comparable units from the past 90 days. Calculate the average days on market. Under 10 days. Price aggressively. Over 21 days. Price at or slightly below your signed comp baseline. Variable 2 is the signed comp baseline, which we just covered. Pull what comparable units actually cleared at, not what they asked. Add 6 to 12% to aggregator prices during May through August to approximate true signed rents. That is your starting floor. Variable 3 is amenity premium, and this is where independent landlords leave the most visible cash on the table. Every amenity in your unit has a quantifiable market value, and bundling them together as if they are invisible features is a direct cash leak. In-unit laundry in California markets commands a premium of $75 to $150 per month over comparable units with shared or no laundry. This is supported by RealPage and CoStar survey data across major California metros. Dedicated off-street parking in dense urban submarkets adds $75 to $125 per month. A private yard or patio in a single-family or garden-style unit adds $50 to $100 per month. An EV charger, and this is increasingly relevant as California pushes EV adoption, adds $50 to $100 per month to qualified applicant pools who own electric vehicles. These are not soft benefits you mentioned in the listing description. They are line items with dollar values you calculate individually. Add to your signed comp baseline and price into the unit explicitly. Variable 4 is demand timing. If you are listing between May 1st and August 31st, you are operating in peak leasing season. California's renter churn is highest in this window, driven by lease expirations, job transitions, and the academic calendar. Demand during peak season justifies a timing premium of 3 to 5% above your off-season baseline. If you are listing in October or November, you remove that timing premium and potentially apply a small discount to compete with lower demand. Timing is not a vague concept, it is a quantifiable variable that moves your price in a specific direction by a specific percentage. But wait, there's a catch. Adding all 4 variables and slapping a number on your listing still does not work if you skip the demand test, which I'll cover in Chapter 5. First, let me show you how this math actually plays out in a real California submarket. Let's price a 2-bedroom, 1-bath unit in a mid-density suburb of Sacramento. Think Elk Grove or Rancho Cordova in June 2025. This unit has in-unit laundry, 1 dedicated parking space, and a small private patio. No EV charger. Step 1, Aggregator Baseline. You pull Zillow and see comparable 2 bedrooms asking between $1,850 and $2,050. You take the midpoint, $1,950, as your aggregator baseline. Step 2, apply the signed comp adjustment for peak season. It's June, so you apply an 8% upward adjustment to account for the gap between asking prices and actual signed rents during peak season. 8% of $1,950 is $156. Your signed comp baseline is now $2,106. Step 3. Amenity premiums. In-unit laundry in this submarket commands a conservative $100 per month premium. Dedicated parking adds $75 per month. Private patio adds $50 per month. Total amenity premium, $225. Step 4. Timing adjustment. It's peak season. You apply a 4% timing premium to your signed comp baseline. 4% of $2,106 is $84. Now you add it all together. $2,106 base plus $225 in amenity premiums plus $84 timing premium equals $2,415 per month. You would have listed this unit at $1,950 based on a Zillow scroll. The model says $2,415. That is a $465 monthly gap. Annualized, that is $5,580 in gross rent you would have walked away from, for the same unit, in the same market, in the same month. That is not a rounding error. That is a meaningful income difference that compounds every single year you keep using the wrong pricing method. Here is the counterintuitive truth that most landlords never figure out. Pricing your unit correctly, meaning higher, does not reduce your applicant pool. It improves it. Underpricing actively attracts applicants who should concern you. Think about how renters search. Most rental platforms let applicants filter by maximum rent. Someone who sets their maximum at $1,900 per month is telling you something important. Their budget ceiling is $1,900. If a market rate unit should rent for $2,200, and you list it at $1,900 because you anchored to stale Zillow data, you have just opened your application inbox to everyone whose financial ceiling is at the very bottom of what your unit is worth. You are not getting a diverse applicant pool. You are selecting for financial stress before you ever pull a credit report. A correctly priced listing at $2,200 filters that pool in your favor before any screening begins. The applicants who respond to a $2,200 listing in a market where comps are $2,100 to $2,300 are people who budget at that level comfortably. Their debt-to-income ratios are more likely to support the rent. Their financial cushion is more likely to survive a job disruption. You are doing your tenant screening before screening even starts. There is also a psychology component here that matters practically. A listing priced at market rate with high-quality photos and specific amenity pricing, $2,400 per month, includes dedicated parking and in-unit laundry, signals that the landlord is professional and the unit is well managed. That signal attracts applicants who prioritize stability and landlord quality. Chronic underpricing signals uncertainty, which attracts applicants experienced at navigating uncertain landlords. The math on applicant quality is harder to quantify than the rent gap, but the downstream costs are not. One eviction in California costs between $5,000 and $10,000 in legal fees, lost rent, and turnover costs, according to estimates from California legal aid organizations and landlord associations. If better applicant filtering from correct pricing prevents even one eviction over a 5-year period, the risk-adjusted value of accurate pricing is well into 5 figures. Knowing the model is not enough. You need a repeatable process you can execute in under an hour for every listing. Here is the exact sequence. First, pull your aggregator baseline from at least 3 platforms: Zillow, Apartments.com, and one local property management company's current listings. Average the asking prices for true comparables: same bedroom count, same general neighborhood, similar build year. Do not average a 1970s unit with a 2015 renovation. That is not a comp. Second, apply your signed comp adjustment. If it's May through August, add 8%. If it's September through October, add 3%. If it's November through April, treat the aggregator price as close to the signed comp floor and add nothing. Third, calculate your amenity premiums individually. Write them down as line items. In-unit laundry, $100. Parking, $75. Private outdoor space, $50. EV charger, $75. Add only what your unit actually has. Do not inflate. Do not bundle. Price each one and add the sum. Fourth, apply your timing premium if you are in peak season. 3 to 5% on top of your signed comp baseline. Use 4% as your default. Fifth, and this is the step most landlords skip, build a 72-hour demand test into your listing workflow. Post the listing and do not accept applications for 72 hours. Count your inquiries. If you receive more than 20 genuine inquiries in that 72-hour window, you are statistically underpriced by at least 5%. Revise upward before accepting a single application. This is not a soft suggestion. High inquiry volume in a short window is a direct market signal that your price is below clearing price. Use it. If you receive fewer than 5 inquiries in 72 hours, check your photos before you adjust price. Bad photos undermine accurate pricing. If photos are solid and inquiries are still low, consider a 3 to 5% downward adjustment and reevaluate days on market velocity in your submarket. Now here's the recap you need to walk away with. Zillow shows asking prices, not signed rents. During peak season, real transactions close 6 to 12% higher than what you see on screen. Anchoring to aggregator data guarantees you start underpriced. Your amenities are not bundled features. They are individual line items worth $50 to $150 per month each, and leaving them invisible is a monthly cash drain with a calculable dollar amount. Correct pricing generates a better applicant pool, not a smaller one. Higher rent filters for financial stability before your screening process begins. And the 72-hour demand test is the single fastest feedback loop available to you. More than 20 inquiries means you left money on the table and you still have time to recover it. The landlord who runs this model twice a year, once going into peak season, once coming out of it, is not working harder than you. They are just working with better numbers, powered by LeaseBase intelligence.